Fallout New Vegas is an open-world post-apocalyptic RPG that allows you to build your character through various stats and perks to become an unstoppable force throughout the Mojave. But what if you didn't use any of those benefits? I decided to find out. My name was Greg. I had a soul patch, and I was ready to show this wasteland you don't need fancy numbers to survive the post-apocalypse. My run started like any other New Vegas run. I did the brain-dead shooting tutorial with Sunny Smiles for a free gun. But when I went to see Ringo about the first quest of the game, this happened.
Now just hold still.
So I ran back to the Prospector Saloon thinking that they would defend me. Except they didn't. Instead of staying cornered, I confronted Ringo outside on level ground. I wasn't expecting such a challenge this early in the run. My will was already being tested. Until Victor happened.
It's dangerous out here.
Then I methodically cleared out some powder gangers to sell their gear for supplies and made my way to the town of Prim. Once I got there, a soldier in a dorky hat warned me about convicts taking over the town. Naturally, I ignored his advice. After a failed sneak attempt, I was forced to deal with the convicts head on. Fortunately, I was still under level 5, so enemies hadn't scaled up to better gear yet.
You like that?
After dancing around the hotel for 20 minutes, I cleared out the remaining convicts and hit level 5. With Prim saved, I headed south to the Mojave outpost for some much needed repairs. I took an easy job smashing ants to get some supplies for the road. And then I headed east for Nipton. When I got to Nipton, some guy wearing a dog on his head told me to warn people about how scary he was or something. So I decided to kill him instead. With some creative grenade usage, they went down without any problems. More importantly, I found a weapon that would help me even the odds. The Ripper. It ignores damage threshold, which is kind of a big deal when you do no damage. After some wandering, I was ambushed by some mercs with heavy weapons. They didn't stand a chance against the Ripper though. Unfortunately, the haul I got from picking their corpses left me severely over-encumbered, so I had to walk to the nearest town. In town, a guy living in a dinosaur's mouth asked me to clear out some ghouls from an old rocket test site.
God, but are you ugly?
I was greeted by some guy who didn't appreciate my soul patch. Clearly, these ghouls weren't people, so I killed them.
No.
After selling their belongings, I bought a katana and became a ghost. Somehow. Then I let Manny know the ghouls were gone from the rocket site, and he pointed me to my next destination, Boulder City. Before I got there, I had fully embraced the bandit lifestyle. I pillaged caravans, merchants, and NCR tourists. My plan was to buy my way to victory, at least in the endgame. When I reached Boulder City, there was a misunderstanding.
What the fuck are you doing?
So I had to resolve the situation the only way I know. I was honestly kind of shocked to see how small of a threat they were. Maybe this is why the Legion is kicking their ass. After leaving Boulder City, I decided to take a quick detour to Camp Golf. The plan? Steal a set of that fancy Ranger combat armor on the box art. So the attack began. It went as well as you'd expect. After tricking them into following me into the bathroom, I tossed a grenade at their feet and scrambled out of the room. It wasn't very effective. I had to constantly shove food in my mouth to out-heal the massive damage they were inflicting on me. Eventually they bullied me into a corner, and I had to stand my ground and whittle them all down with my katana. After a few close calls and the majority of my healing items depleted, I was victorious. My victory was a Pyrrhic one, however, because it turns out that NCR veteran rangers don't spawn until after you activate the Securitron army. Oh my god, what a waste of time! With my resources depleted and level 20 fast approaching, I resorted to more banditry, and I killed some cannibal guy that could yell at me from beyond the grave.
That doesn't belong to you.
I was still light on caps, so I took a job at Camp McCarran to kill 3 fiends in the area who've been giving the NCR a lot of trouble. Most of the low-level fiends in this area were just easy cannon fodder, so I'm not sure why the NCR couldn't just handle this on their own. I suppose their incompetence is my game. While Cook and Violet weren't much of a challenge, Driver Nephi, on the other hand, gave me some problems. I couldn't stand toe-to-toe with him using the Ripper, so I had to kite him around, dodging bullets from his underlings, while spraying a lot of shots until he went down. After turning in my bounties, I found a cave full of lake lurks that were doing incredible damage to me. Fortunately, Driver Nephi's club was doing impressive damage as well, so I was able to dig deeper into the cave until I found something glorious. Pushy. In all my years of playing New Vegas, I've never come across this broken masterpiece of a weapon. I was honestly worried that it might have compromised the integrity of the run, but then I got mauled by cazadors. After a quick resupply at Good Springs, I headed northwest to Jacobstown, a town of mutants trying to hide away from the dangers of the wasteland. The thing is, I just found a new toy that I wanted to play with, so stuff happened. After looting the mutants, I was still short on the caps I needed. So I took a job investigating some missing refugees in Westside. When I got there, some rats attacked me, and I accidentally hit another mutant when I swung at a rat. I'm serious, it was an accident. So I drew aggro from all of Westside, including the primary suspects. Mystery solved. I made one last stop to Camp McCarran and cleared it out. Finally, after killing 1,540 people, I was ready to blow all my caps irresponsibly on stuff that I probably couldn't even use effectively. But it made me feel good. I had finally done it.
Thank you, sir. You may proceed.
I made it to New Vegas.
Don't be carrying any guns into the casino.
I took a beeline straight to the Tops Casino. I was feeling bold, so when the doorman tried to take my guns,
Mistake of your life.
Benny put up much more of a fight than I had anticipated. But thanks to big brain consumable usage, I won and got the platinum chip. In Benny's room, I found a Canadian Securitron.
Not my fault I can't say no.
Who let me in on Benny's plan to take over New Vegas. Step 1. Kill Computer Man. All I need is a stealth boy and the access codes that come with the platinum chip. Computer Man deaded.
Do you have any idea how special that is?
Step 2. Upload Yes Man onto the Lucky 38 mainframe. Step 3. Deal with the tribes. The other casinos were honestly easier to take care of than the Tops. None of them wear armor, and the White Gloves don't even have guns.
Well, I never.
The Great Khans put up more of a fight than the casinos, but
No. Help!
with the Great Khans out of the way, my next stop was Nellis Air Force Base, home of the Boomers. Typically, when you make contact with the Boomers, you have to dodge a constant artillery barrage before you can talk to them. Me? I just used the power of food to tank the shelling.
How the hell did you survive that bombardment?
The leader of the Boomers seemed to think I was here to solve all of their problems for them, just like real Boomers.
But I hope you'll show my youngers that not every outsider needs to be blown up.
They should have blown me up. Now it was time to deal with the last tribe, the Brotherhood of Steel. So I waited until nightfall for a passing patrol to try and catch them off guard. Except they saw me first. They mowed me down before I even got close. I was more prepared this time. I had a stealth boy. I carefully approached from the rear. I was getting close. The paladins were hitting me harder than any enemy had at this point, but I had the Ripper, so as long as I could just out-heal their damage constantly, I would survive. I grabbed the bunker key and headed for the door. I was going to use their own weapon against them. It didn't work. It was time for my ace in the hole. Pushy. Pushy single-handedly saved this run, no doubt. Together, we stormed straight to the conveniently placed self-destruct terminal in the Brotherhood of Steel bunker. And with that, all of the tribes had been dealt with. It was time to upgrade the Securitrons under Caesar's fort. But to get there, I'd have to single-handedly fight his entire camp of legionaries until I made it to Caesar himself. Unfortunately for me, all of Caesar's guards were equipped with fist weapons, and we were confined to a small arena. I've never been so intimidated by a group of men walking awkwardly towards me in my entire life. Fortunately, I was able to keep my composure long enough to take them all down. With Caesar dead, I headed to the bunker and upgraded my Securitron army with the Platinum chip. It was finally time for the Battle of Hoover Dam.
Good luck. See you at the dam.
I played it very cautiously through the early sections of the dam. I intended to use my Securitron for cover at the start. He died though. I didn't even know they could die on this quest, to be honest. Once I was inside, I used my last stealth boy to sneak into the computer room. With my Securitrons active,
This is gonna be fun.
there was only one thing left to do. Get smacked around by Leg Atlanteus for 4 hours. The problem with Leg Atlanteus is that when he knocks me down, I can't spam healing items, meaning I'm probably dead when it happens. I would have to play this very carefully and cautiously, separating him from the ads. It was a huge pain in the ass. And then it happened. An incredible crit. And it was finally over. I ignored the last ad on the cliff and reached the gate. And the run was officially over.